region, Mayor of Saint Laurent, councillors, dear friends. On behalf of the High Commission of India in Ottawa, me and my colleague Sunil Kumar Sharma. Sunil, will you stand up please? We have come from Ottawa to participate in your 16th Unity Day Parade. This is a very important occasion for us. It's a day of celebration, celebrating the 72nd Independence Day of India. It is a day of remembrance, remembering all the freedom fighters, their struggles and sacrifices who gave us our freedom. And it is also a day of reflection, reflecting on the journey that India has taken since that momentous tryst with destiny on the 15th of August 1947. This year's Independence Day, of course, is tinged with a little bit of sadness because our beloved Prime Minister, former Prime Minister of India, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, passed away on the 16th of August. And then, of course, we have the ongoing catastrophe in Kerala, where unseasonal floods, the highest in the last 100 years, have devastated large parts of the state. Thousands of people are in relief homes. More than 300 have already lost their lives. And we are all working and praying that the rains will abate, the relief will be able to continue, and normalcy will return to God's own country, Kerala. Somebody asked whether there is any provision for donations from Canada. Yes, of course. There is the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. The details are available on Twitter, on Facebook, on all social media. And I encourage all of you to donate as liberally as you can, because this is truly 1 in 100 years phenomena, what is happening in Kerala. And we need international support in order to tide over the crisis. 3 days ago, we celebrated the Independence Day of India in Ottawa through an evening reception. And I mentioned at that time that India is not just a country, a piece of land. India is also a concept which emerged literally at the dawn of history and has been going on continuously since then. And that is why India is widely regarded as the oldest continuous civilization on the planet. And what is that concept? What is that idea of India? The idea of India is of unity in diversity, of people belonging to different faiths, eating different kinds of food, wearing different kinds of dresses, having different convictions and beliefs, coming together as one. Believing that we have the right to disagree as long as we agree on the ground rules for that disagreement. And those ground rules for disagreement are framed through the medium of parliamentary democracy, the same as in Canada. And today, when I am here in Montreal and I see this fantastic gathering, I see the idea of India, the living embodiment of that idea of India. This is the idea of India. People belonging to different faiths, people professing different beliefs, eating different food, wearing different dresses, coming together as one to celebrate the Independence Day of India. And that is why organizations like the ICO need to be commended. You know, today the Indian community in Canada is 1.6 million strong. We have 1.4 million people of Indian origin who have Canadian passports, and we have 240,000 people who still retain their Indian passports. So if you add the two, the total Indian diaspora in Canada is 1.6 million. And the Indian diaspora in Canada is literally a microcosm of India. Every state of India is now represented in Canada, whether it is Tamil Nadu or Assam or Mizoram or UP or Bihar or Kerala. Every state of India is represented in Canada. And we have different groups catering to the specific requirements of specific states. So you have a Kerala Association, you have a Marathi Mandal, you have a Gujarati Mandal, you have a UPite grouping, you have groups from every state. But the groups that bring everyone together are the most important for us, and ICO is exactly that kind of a group. It brings everyone together without making any distinction of your caste, your creed, or your conviction. As long as you take pride in being Indian, you are a member of ICO. And that is the kind of organization we have always valued and patronized. Today, I am here to tell you that much has happened in the India-Canada relationship since I last addressed you all last year around the same time. And that time, of course, Prime Minister Trudeau was also here. Since then, Prime Minister Trudeau has made that visit to India. When I met him here in Montreal, I asked him, I said, Prime Minister Trudeau, when will you go to India? You have been promising that you will go to India. And he said, very soon. And I'm very happy that he kept to that promise. And this year in February, he went on a state visit to India. And there has been a lot of media reporting about that visit. I would say the visit was an unqualified success, because for us, the success of a visit is counted not in terms of how many days you spend there or what you did. The success of the visit is counted on what was the outcome. The outcome of the visit was a joint statement signed by Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Trudeau. It's called the Partnership for Security and Growth. It was signed on the 23rd of February, and it literally provides us with a blueprint on the Canada-India partnership in the 21st century. So today, about 1,000 Canadian companies are active in India. They are doing business with India. More than $15 billion has been invested by Canadian pension funds in India. The number of Indian students in Canada has shot through the roof. It's now 125,000. 125,000 Indian students are now studying in Canada. And the growth rate last year was 80%. If the same growth rate persists this year, by the end of this year, we will overtake the Chinese to become the largest overseas group in Canada. So that is really quite something. And it tells you that Canada is open. Canada is open not only for immigration, but Canada is today the most open country in the world in terms of giving the students the confidence that they can work here, they can get employment here, and if they want to continue their stay in Canada, they can do so without any fear or favor. I think that is the greatness of Canada, and this greatness of Canada is best exemplified through the politics of Canada, where we today have, in a house of 338 members, 21 members of parliament of Indian origin, the highest in the world. No other Indian ambassador or high commissioner can say that I have 21 members of parliament that I can call my own, including 4 ministers. But I have the privilege of saying that. Surinder Kumarji, when he was here, he made some complaints. He said there are some people who are treated as second-class citizens. I do not know where that complaint has come from. I am here to assure you and to tell you categorically that we take pride in the Indian community and we want to give you the best possible services ever. If there is any complaint of rudeness, misbehavior, please bring it directly to my attention. I am assuring you there is no question of the Indian High Commission or the Indian consulates in Vancouver and Toronto discriminating against anyone. We, under the government of Prime Minister Modi, we have become a completely service-oriented, a people-oriented ministry, and we want to continue that tradition. And whether you need an OCI card, in fact, I would advise most of you to please get an OCI card, those of you who do not have an OCI card, because with an OCI card, you do not need to come to the embassy at all. You will have a lifelong visa. As long as your passport remains valid, you don't have to have a visa for India. You can just go there and you don't have to report to the police. You can stay as long as you want. And most importantly of all, you can even practice as an advocate, as a dentist, as a law, as a chartered accountant, as an architect. You can even get employment in Indian Institutes of Technology, Indian Institutes of Management, in any central university. That is an amazing thing, which means we do not discriminate between Indians who have Indian passports and live in India and Indians who left India and went away but have retained that emotional attachment to India. So that is the OCI card. The only thing we need is you need to prove that you were an Indian citizen on 26 January 1950, or you are entitled to be an Indian citizen on 26 January 1950 in terms of your parents or your grandparents. If you had an Indian passport, we need your surrender certificate. So with those requirements, within 5 weeks, you will have an OCI card in your hand. I also want to tell you that many Indians, the biggest complaint that they have is our children are losing touch with their Indian roots. How can we tell our children about what India is all about? So for that, we have started a program. It is called No India Program.